Hold up. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy290 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on my channel. Today we are back with F1 2016 career mode here for the Belgian Grand Prix Season 3 with Red Bull Racing. I can't remember what round it is. I think it's round 13, but I'm a bit dumb, so I don't really know. But anyway, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, drop a like on it. That'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed currently. And yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy today's video for the Belgian Grand Prix, which is probably my favourite track. It's actually my favourite track on the calendar, no doubt about it. I absolutely love this circuit. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's see how well we can do. So first of all, we're going to be going into the practice sessions, which you can see on your screens right now. We are here for the track acclimatization test. As you can see, we're coming around the bus stop chicane, and it's been a pretty good lap actually. In fact, practice was all round was perfect for me, getting the maximum resource points. There's no point in being like drama, like, ooh, am I going to get resource points or not? It's obvious. I get the maximum resource points. Moving on then into the tyre wear test, you can see very little tyre wear for myself throughout my entire set of qualifying laps, so I wasn't too concerned about that. And then eventually when we get into the qualifying simulation run in just a moment's time, you will see that again, it was quite a simple task for us, and we did not have to work for us as long. Well, I thought it was going to be a bit harder in practice, but it clearly wasn't. Around the final corner we go, and are coming across the line here to go fastest and get maximum resource points there for the for the qualifying simulation run. So all is well then for us in practice, so nothing to be concerned about. I felt really comfortable around the circuit, especially in the middle sector. Felt really strong, really fast around there. And as you can see, we have got over 1,100 resource points now, which is crucial because I needed 1,100 resource points for me to get the new engine upgrade that I wanted to get. And it seems that we're going to be reaching that target very soon. As you can see here, we've got a brand new rival, as Emma, you can see, coming towards us right now. She's approaching us at high speed. And she has given us a new rival to take on, and that is going to be Daniel Ricciardo, my teammate. So a very interesting rivalry there. So of course we've got that inter-team rivalry, and now it's an official full-on rival. So it's definitely going to be very hard to beat Daniel Ricciardo because he is my teammate, and you've seen how close it is in qualifying in the race between us two. So it's definitely going to be hard there. Into the qualifying objectives, they want me to go on the front row of the grid and also beat Daniel Ricciardo. So that's what we're going to go and try and do. Into Q1 we go. We're actually going to be starting Q1 here on the prime tyres, so not on the option super soft tyres. We're actually going to be going on the soft tyres, just on the basis that I don't need to waste a set of super soft tyres to get into Q2. And you can see that we set the fastest lap of this session, and that actually got us the quickest time overall, beating Lewis Hamilton that was on super soft tyres. So really showing that this Red Bull has got some pace, or it has to be really. It's the fastest car on the grid at the moment. Into Q2 we go, and now you can see that I've switched to the super soft tyres. In front of us is Romain Grosjean in the Haas, but he's not going to trouble us at all. Too far in front really to make any sort of impression on us. And across the line we go there to set the fastest lap of that specific session there for Grosjean. Very nicely done. And that is us safely through into the final part of qualifying here. Lewis Hamilton is that, yes, starting on the soft tyres for the Grand Prix. So a very interesting shout from Hamilton. Moving into Q3 we go then on the super soft tyres here, braking as hard as we can down into the bus stop chicane. Probably taking a little bit too much curve on the first part of the bus stop chicane, but we were alright overall. And as we make our sprint towards the line here, it is going to be the fastest lap. But remember, Daniel hasn't set a lap yet. So did we beat Ricciardo? Because he was behind us on the grid. So we're going to have to find out. We did beat Daniel Ricciardo, and that means we are going to be getting pole position for the Italian, what the hell am I on about? The Belgian Grand Prix. Very satisfied with that indeed, especially. We definitely needed a good qualifying, especially here at Spa when anything can happen at Spa. It's a crazy circuit. And as you can see, all the resource points then stacking in here as we've done a very good job for the team. And in the driver rivalry, we're going to go and smash Daniel Ricciardo in the first part of it. And going to do well in the driver position as well. Listening to the voicemail then from Emma, she's going to set the objectives that she and the team believe is right for me in the Belgian Grand Prix. But that's it for practice and qualifying. Let's get into the race for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Who doesn't love the Belgian Grand Prix? It's the race, of course, that gave maiden pole positions to the Jordan and Force India teams, with Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella respectively. Jordan, of course, would then go on to better that here in 1998 with their first ever victory. And you can guarantee that something special will always happen at Spa-Francorchamps. But what that something is today is anybody's guess. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box to take you through all the action today. Now, it's a closely matched field here in Spa, Ant, so where do you think we're going to see somebody make a difference?
If they're as close as we're expecting them to be, especially through the midfield, then being able to keep the front tyres in good condition could make the difference. You always lose a chunk of downforce at the front when you're in the turbulent air of another car, which tends to cause understeer, which in turn causes front tyre degradation. Now, too much damage there could force an early pit stop and put you at a slight disadvantage, so the drivers will want to be careful not to be too aggressive early on in the Grand Prix.
Okay, remember to protect the inside on the run down to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible, robust but fair.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's Red Bull in pole position then, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Nico Rosberg and Massa, Raikkonen, Vettel, Perez and Nico Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Sainz, Romain Grosjean and Button, Alonso, Palmer, Kevin Magnussen and Felipe Nasser, Wehrlein and Ericsson, Rio Haryanto and Esteban Gutierrez completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright then guys, so as you can see we are on the grid here for the Belgian Grand Prix, and looking at the weather forecast you can see that we're actually going to get some rain quite early on in this race, so perhaps we may only be able to be using these red mark super soft tyres. We may not get the opportunity to switch on to the yellow mark soft tyres for this Grand Prix, so we may be doing an immediate switch to the wet weather tyres, but we'll just have to see when this rain falls and if I can take these super soft tyres that long into the Grand Prix for when the rain does eventually arrive. But as you can see we are on the grid here for this Belgian Grand Prix. We go to 5 red lights here and it is now lights out, and away we go for this Belgian Grand Prix. It's a stunning start from Daniel Ricciardo alongside me, my teammate, getting a brilliant start as we make a late braking move down into La Source, down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. We are going to give him the space though to give us a fight back, but he doesn't decide to make that move and we stay in front of Daniel Ricciardo. But however, even though we started from pole and we're in the lead, it's not over yet as we make the charge up Eau Rouge, the best corner on the F1 2017-16 calendar out of anywhere else. I completely make a mistake, but you can see Daniel Ricciardo down the Camel Straight has got a great run on us here, but we're in rich fuel mixture. I don't think Daniel is, and that's going to help us as we switch down to standard mixture. And down the Camel Straight we go. Daniel wasn't quite there in our slipstream, and we managed to stay in front of him. But Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes has got in front of Valtteri Bottas as we make a very wide exit here, a very poor error. Ricciardo going to fight us here around the inside. Can he make it stick? No. We've got more traction around the outside, but a bit of a scary moment there as we were trying to get onto the... we just went wide onto the gravel trap and lost the back end of the car. Ricciardo nearly seizing the opportunity, but luckily we have enough speed around that corner to defend as we come through the middle sector now. But as I was saying beforehand, Lewis Hamilton crucially has got past Valtteri Bottas, and you can already see how the three of us are beginning to pull away from the rest of the field straight away. So pretty interesting stuff here as we're now coming now towards Degner 1. It's not Degner 1 for God's sake, down into Stavelo. But you just saw there that little white flash that was on your screens. You may have just caught it. If you didn't, then it's a very quick one. But that white flash means that the rain has now basically spawned in other words. So as you can see, Daniel Ricciardo going for a move on us, but it's not going to work for him. So the rain is going to be it's already started falling here very early on in the race. And it's all happening here at the start of this race, breaking into the bus stop chicane now. And we're getting that nice and calm there, and all nice and sorted. Myself leads this race at the end of lap 1 from Daniel Ricciardo, from Lewis Hamilton, from Valtteri Bottas, I believe. And that is the fastest lap to show that. So all is well for us at the moment, but we've got rain arriving and our title rivals are right behind me in this race. So let's get a replay of the start then, because of course I made a lot of errors and a lot of mistakes in my commentary just then. So now I've got the chance to relive that start. So having a look at it here, Valtteri Bottas didn't actually get the best getaway, and unfortunately Hamilton managed to get straight past him. In fact, Nico Rosberg got round the inside of him, down into La Source. So very strong showing there for Mercedes. A good start from the pair of them. I managed to stay in front of Daniel Ricciardo. As you saw, he had a run at me on the outside of La Source, but I managed to keep myself all intact here. Making the run up though, Rouge, and now down the Kemmel Straight. Ricciardo pulls over to get a slipstream in the toe, but he doesn't actually stay in my slipstream, and I'm in rich fuel mixture. Daniel obviously wasn't in rich fuel mixture. I changed the car back down into standard, and you can see that Valtteri Bottas behind is actually fighting Nico Rosberg again, and this is where we make our mistake here, running wide, just clipping the gravel there, nearly losing the back end. Ricciardo goes for a move on us. I then take the proper racing line, and eventually I'm carrying more corner speed than Daniel is, and I'm able to stick it around the outside, especially with a much better chassis of this Red Bull car. Of course, it's got the same chassis as me, but I just feel really comfortable with my chassis at the moment. And as you can see then, we're still in front of Daniel, but as I said before, look, there's me, there's Daniel, and there's Hamilton, the three of us already pulling away from the rest of the field. Hamilton not as much, obviously, because he's on the soft tyres. He's on a slower compounded tyre than me and Daniel, so he's definitely going to be very happy sitting in third, watching me and Daniel battling up front, as he is going to be going longer on his first stint. But of course, as we saw, as we came through this corner here, Stavolo, not Degnan, because that's in Japan, the rain actually is already starting to fall here. So Daniel did have an attempt of a move here through Blanchimont. I decided to give him the space, but eventually he wasn't actually alongside me, so I pulled back in here, and then we make that charge through Blanchimont corner, and now making the heavy braking move down here into the bus stop chicane. Myself leading this race with Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton closing in quite quickly on Daniel, actually. Of course, with the power of that Mercedes engine, of course, I would like to have had an engine upgrade for this race, but we didn't manage to get it. Moving on to lap 2 of the Grand Prix now, so basically further ahead from the lap that we were on, and we're just coming through Stavolo corner here, and once again, I'm struggling a little bit now on this track. It's starting to get a lot wetter, and Daniel Ricciardo fancies a run. He's actually going to go for it. He's going to go for it around the inside into Blanchimont. The two Red Bulls scrapping hard away. Can I keep it around the outside? Ricciardo forces me wide. I have to take evasive action going off the circuit here, and Ricciardo stays back. I brake nice and late. Ricciardo's still there, still trying to battle around the inside into the bus stop chicane, and Daniel doesn't quite get the place done. Now he's got to fend off Lewis Hamilton behind him. All action going on here as me and Ricciardo going side by side through Blanchimont corner. Really crazy action there as we brake nice and late down the inside into La Source, and we have managed to stay in front of Daniel Ricciardo. But you can see that I've got now a 5-way battle going on here. Myself, Ricciardo, the two Mercedes, and Bottas very much in the mix in that Williams, who's got in front of Rosberg somewhere actually. But it's not over yet as we make the run up La Source here, taking way too much of the curb in fact. Ricciardo is in a perfect position here to get into the slipstream. He's got DRS, Lewis Hamilton's got DRS, and look at the power of that Mercedes-Benz car flying through with this DRS. We're going to take a late braking move here. Can we get the job done? We can't. Lewis Hamilton is in the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix. However, I'm going to stick it around the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, but you can already see the raindrops on my Red Bull, and it's all just chaotic here at the start of this race. We're going to be coming into the pits at the end of this lap to change for what is provisionally a set of soft tyres, but we are going to change and go on to a set of the intermediate tyres and switch to those green-walled, slightly wetter compound of tyre. It's just not good enough now for slicks. I am really struggling to just work with this Red Bull. In qualifying, you saw that I had extremely good pace in quali, but in the race, I just don't seem to have that race pace, and you can already see the rain really starting to fall now here at the Ardennes Forest, and we now need to start thinking of making a pit stop, and we're going to make a pit stop, and we are going to be going for the wet tyres, or the intermediate tyres, sorry, not the wet tyres, and we're going to be taking those perhaps to the end of the race, maybe. I'm not sure. We're not sure what the rain is going to be doing right now, if it's going to fall any harder here. But as you can see, through Stavolo corner, can Daniel Ricciardo catching us this time? He's got a pretty good exit, actually, as Daniel. You can see that we've already set our next tyre to intermediate. Daniel's going to be in the slipstream. Will he make a move this time? He doesn't. He decides not to make any moves on us. And as we come now through Blanchimont corner, having to lift off a little bit now because of the wet track conditions here, and braking hard into the bus stop chicane. What's Lewis Hamilton going to do? Hamilton's actually coming into the pits. Remember, Hamilton's on soft tyres, so he has not gone into, he's not stayed out longer. So it appears that it is time for the wet tyres, because a lot of the drivers are staying out, but myself and Hamilton have decided that it's time to pit for the intermediate tyres and change up the strategy here. So as you can see, coming into the pits now, we're going to be fitting on these green-walled intermediate tyres, and we're going to be taking those now to the end of the race. But I'm actually going to be cutting this cutscene a little bit closer than you may expect. So basically, as you can see, we're now coming towards the exit. We've got yellow flags in front of us, and Nico Rosberg is out of the race. The Mercedes man himself is out of the Grand Prix. This just happened as we were in the pits. Rosberg is coming through, and his engine has failed. Just behind us, me and Hamilton dived into the pits. Rosberg, Bottas, and Ricciardo carried on, and he's out of this Grand Prix, and that's caused a safety car. So it's all happening here at the Belgian Grand Prix, the track has changed. It's now time for the wet tyres. There's Rosberg's car, in fact, just there, just on the outskirts of Eau Rouge. So it's literally all happening here at the Belgian Grand Prix. There's no time to relax here. Moving on to lap 7 of the Grand Prix now. The safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. So a time to really just start to calm down a little bit, because it's just an absolutely crazy race at the moment. A lot of action going on here. But Valtteri Bottas currently leads this race ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, ahead of Hamilton, ahead of myself in 4th now. So Ricciardo and Bottas managed to, because of the safety car, get an actual advantage here. But you can see we go for a move here on the inside of Hamilton into the bus stop chicane. We don't make it stick, unfortunately. I was hoping to try and get a cheeky overtake on Hamilton at the safety car restart, but it hasn't happened for us. Now we've got to focus on getting things. Bottas getting an electric start away off the grid, as we can see the rest of the cars here all flying towards last source. Unfortunately, the camera does that Stu thing where it doesn't follow it. So we're back on board with myself now here. Same lap, same restart here. And Lewis Hamilton is now starting to pull away as we're going to be making the climb up Eau Rouge. What are the conditions like through Eau Rouge? We're about to find out here. Through the first part, not too bad. Clipping the curb, having to swing it in, power sliding through Eau Rouge there. Really no grip at the moment on these intermediate tyres. Moving on to lap 10 of the Grand Prix now. We've got 2 laps to go. Felipe Massa is right behind me. But in front of me, Ricciardo is all over the back of Valtteri Bottas. And Lewis Hamilton is looking to try and get in on the act here. So they're definitely battling up front. And I'm going to see if I can try and make any sort of inroads on them. You can see here now myself ahead of Felipe Massa. In fact, Ricciardo is in front of Bottas. And now and Lewis Hamilton has now got in front of Bottas. So Bottas losing places here. Left, right and centre. I'm going to go for a move down the inside on Valtteri Bottas here. And we get the job done there on Valtteri. And we can move forward. Can we catch Lewis Hamilton before the end of the race? That's going to be the ultimate question. Will we be able to catch Lewis Hamilton before this race finishes? He's just there in front of us. We now need to start trying to stretch out these inters. Unfortunately, moving on to lap 11 of the Grand Prix, Hamilton actually closed up on my teammate Ricciardo before the end of the race. Down into the bus stop chicane. I locked up so badly there on the brakes. But as we come across the line then, Daniel Ricciardo is going to win the Belgian Grand Prix in front of Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to come home and take 3rd place in this Grand Prix. Probably not the result I would have wanted on the fact that I started from pole position. But with everything that was going on in the race, there was just so much action that it was just literally, I didn't know where I was going to finish. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a podium finish, and to be honest, that's all I need to do. I've got a very comfortable lead in the championship right now, and claiming these podium finishes is exactly what we need to do. We just need to start taking it race by race, because of course anything can happen in this championship still. But of course, overall, really, then I was quite slow actually here in Belgium. You saw at the start of the Grand Prix how Hamilton, Ricciardo, Rosberg, and Bottas were all over me. In the safety car restart, Bottas, Ricciardo and Hamilton pulled away from me, but eventually Bottas lost a lot of ground and I managed to capitalise on that. But Hamilton was definitely quicker than Ricciardo, and if we had a couple more laps, Hamilton probably would have overtaken Daniel and perhaps taken the win in this Belgian Grand Prix. But that's going to sum it up then, guys. If you did enjoy this crazy Grand Prix, drop a like on it, that'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel already. And as you can see here, we're going to have the champagne flying here with Daniel taking the win in this race. So there's the full classification, with Ricciardo winning the race from Hamilton, myself, Bottas, and then the Ferraris coming in behind. Nico Rosberg being the only person to not score points in this race. So a bad result. Carlos Sainz finishing in 5th. What a result for Toro Rosso. In the driver's standings, you can see that Daniel Ricciardo has closed the lead to myself by 10 points because he got 25 points in this race. I only got 15. Therefore, Daniel has closed up on me in this race. In the constructor standings, Red Bull are still in front of Mercedes by quite some margin. So we don't necessarily need to worry about Mercedes just at the moment. We just need to keep those consistent results coming in and hope that there are no DNFs or anything coming our way very soon. But in the driver rivalry, we're pulling away a little bit from Daniel Ricciardo. He actually pulled it back quite a bit. In the driver position, we didn't do many of the objectives that the team set for us, which is frustrating, but we are going to be making that engine upgrade, which will be ready for the Italian Grand Prix, and that's when I'll next see you guys. So I'll see you guys on Saturday for the Italian Grand Prix. Take care. Peace.